This is the Mekong Delta of Vietnam. I had to travel about 9,000 miles to get here, about 20 hours of flying, and many bus trips. I saw many things along the way before I came here. One of the last that I saw were the Cu Chi tunnels in the south of Vietnam. They were used during the Vietnam War, often for surprise attacks and torture of soldiers that were captured. Before I came, I wanted to learn about forgiveness, rebirth, and regeneration, and I'm already well onto the path of learning each of those things. The single most important thing that I have learned so far is actually about forgiveness from the girl who was attacked in the village with napalm. She was known as the girl in the photo, or the napalm girl. Her name, Kim Phuc. She wrote or said, "Napalm is very powerful, but faith, forgiveness, and love are much more powerful. We would not have war at all if everyone could learn how to live with true love, hope, and forgiveness." It is beyond words for me to describe the impact of a person so harmed by war, yet so able to both forgive and to teach me about forgiveness. So many things are not obvious when I came, like what is the difference between the people here and us, or are we all the same? When I was in crowded airports and people were rude, I recognized that in fact they are all the same. It doesn't really matter which country you're in, because when people get into crowds and what we think of as civilization, they become rude and inconsiderate. When I go to more remote places like here, the Mekong Delta, I recognize that the similarities are the same, the basic needs of life, essentially food, shelter, clothing, companionship. I see the industriousness of the people. These people on the barges wake up early and work late. I see the people on the streets of Vietnam, in the markets, selling soup, again, waking up early, going to sleep late so that they can support their family. I see their desire for advancement, the reason that 50,000 people a month move into Ho Chi Minh City or Saigon, the reason that their population is 11 million and they face the struggles of industrialized countries like the rest of the world, such as clean air, food, and a water supply. I still recognize that happiness is not about what you have. It's not about possessions. It is the speed of our life that often consumes it. It's why I sometimes say that downtime is uptime. In coming to this much poorer country than what I'm used to back home, I got to ride on the first Boeing 787 Dreamliner. How interesting. Coming to Vietnam, where the GDP is about 1/10, or the GDP per capita is about 1/10 of that in the United States, I get to ride on the first Dreamliner. I see the advancement of the city of Saigon, the architecture, the buildings, and the neon lights. It actually reminds me of Times Square. I know these people will still teach me much more. I still recognize that that photo of Oliver does bring smiles, and I know he's going to bring a lot more.